Hi, listener, viewer, Salt family. I'm here recording this video because I wanted to share the ways in which the divinity of learning how to be more in love and receive love moves through the actions that we take consciously or unconsciously to guide us back to our hearts. How that seeking and searching of ways to experience more love in our life inevitably returns to here, right? And specifically this share for me, this story I'm going to share about my own life is tied with guilt. It's tied with the emotion of guilt. And that one's a really hard one to talk about, but I'm going to start at the beginning. And I'm going to start by saying that I have been I've been in the depths of doing other things in my life, and as far as like spiritual work and spiritual support. My teacher, Adriana Rizzolo, she is in the middle of her 9-month training this year for Body Temple Dance, the one that I took last year. And this year I'm in the class, I'm in the training as a support. I'm a mentor for a group of women who are part of the training. And being in that role of support and being in that role of support as offering my own wisdom and medicine as the support for the training has uncovered a lot of layering around wounding with sharing gifts. So because a lot of that wounding has been healed through this training, and it has been healed as I sit in this role of mentor for the training and for this beautiful group of wise women, there was an inspiration to offer my gifts again in the form of tarot and card readings. And so I decided to take a risk and be playful and be like, all right, let's see how the readings go with this new attitude and this layer of healing that has happened through the training. Hi, do you want to come up here? No? Okay. I see you. Let me see. What? You're so strong. You've got a good grip. Again? Oh, it's yours. Oh, okay. He's playing here next to me. Thank you. Oh, you're not giving it. You're not giving it. It's my 1-year-old Luca. So I decided to offer these readings, right? And as always, I'm a very intentional person, sometimes to my own detriment, because I stay so rooted in the intention that I tend to be hard on myself when I don't stay true to it all the time. And also it can become kind of obsessive where like I must, like it's like a animal, like dog with a bone, like I must stay in this intention. Very fixed. And so my intention and the way that I live my life and the way that I share my gifts is that I need an intention. And part of the intention is that I live the lessons of that intention and learn from that intention as the intention manifests itself through whatever I'm doing. And so the intention that I had personally for me for these readings were that I wanted to stay rooted in trusting myself, and most importantly, allow my body, my voice, and the words that were used in the reading to come from God, to literally surrender my voice, my sound, my speech to something higher, which is a huge fear. This people like love channeling and see channelers and like, I want to do that. For me, it's fucking terrifying. Like Esther Hicks, like that scares me. Like I don't want to be in a trance and have something speak through me. No, thank you. Like that's, I don't know. Something about that just doesn't feel right to me. So asking God to speak through me was like one of those like, okay, I'm working an edge here. And I'm trusting that this is the right thing to do. And so my own personal intention was to be more surrendered to the messages of the divine and allow my own body to be used as a temple and as a voice box for the messages that need to be spoken but are hard to hear, you know? Yeah, it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear. Way. This is Luca. Way. Those are our friends. Do you want to say hi? Hi. Do you want to say hi? Hi. I think he just wants to be included. And at the same time, as I was setting the energy in motion to offer these readings, like right before I posted, my partner and I had a fire ceremony. And the fire ceremony, one of my goals that was spoken out loud to the fire as an offering to the fire was that I wanted to be open to receive more love so it can help me sustain my business. Because every time I try and get serious about my business, something happens internally and my shadow gets in the way, you know, and it's my shadow trying to protect me. I understand that very well now. So there's more compassion with when that happens. But you want to come down? But I set that free to the fire. I'm like, this is what I want. I want to open up to receive more love because that is what I need to be able to sustain a continuous offering of my gift. Done. That was mine. That was my intention. And then there was the intention that I had for the people who were going to receive my offering. Like there was an intention of like whoever is ready to receive and hear messages from their own wisdom, like from their own body that they're not able to receive. Allow me to be a voice for those things that need to be spoken. And truly anchor into this perception that I'm holding, this perception that I want to be a belief and a value that I carry on in my work, of that you have the wisdom inside you, that you have everything you need within you at all times. We just need help accessing it. That's it. Like that. And I'm the help. And so in that, there was a change in the way that I did my readings because it's different from the values I held in the past of like, I am going to say things that they don't know is happening, and I'm the one that is giving wisdom, like in a more hierarchy way of relating to whoever receives the messages, which were useful. I'm not saying that that's bad, but it doesn't support my belief that you need community and that all of us are here in a like vertical, like we're all equality perception. So I offer the readings, I do the readings, and I begin to receive feedback and receive love from those readings of like, wow, this really helped me. And it was a busy weekend, so I didn't have time to actually sit and receive the love and the validation that I was getting, that what I offered was useful, that what I offered was helpful. And I pushed that to the side, and I pushed that to the side, and I pushed that like, okay, like I have other things to do. I couldn't just sit and like receive it. That was the story, because there's all these other things I have to do. And last night, when I finally had a moment to like sit, right, and receive, I look because I'm about to send another reading out to a friend. And I look and I notice that I made a mistake. I made a mistake with the readings. And this guilt just like, bleh, like, it's just like taking over my body. Like, oh my God. Like, the mistake was that I made private readings public on my YouTube channel. And the horror of that was like, I can't believe that I was so ignorant to the process. Like, this is the story. I'm not saying this was actually happening. This is the story of the guilt, right? That I was ignorant, that I didn't pay attention, that I could have done better. Like, why did I make that dumb mistake? Look how many people you've hurt. Like, I mean, it's still there. I can feel it in my fucking chest. And that has like taken over, like that took over until I took responsibility and I apologized. And the reality was that my apology was received by the people that had their readings public very like lovingly and graciously, actually, and very understanding, and it actually very lightly even too. So for me to reach this place of the heaviness of the guilt and see the reality in the response from taking responsibility, and how actually it was okay, like it's okay, you know, and how light it was the reality of it was lighter than my perception of how bad it was. Like my own perception made everything more dramatic. Sir, we know we don't do that, right? No, don't bite me. He's a biter, guys. Hey, why? Ow. No. That hurts. We don't hurt other people. Okay. Well, you want to be free? You can be free. But you can't be climbing off the side of the couch. Allowed me to like see the manifestation of how much bigger my perception makes my own unworthiness in the form of guilt that I messed up as a way to stop the love from flowing. Because I'm realizing now that I have another moment to be in stillness with myself, being a mom with a full life, you know, you don't always get too many moments of that. But now that I'm here and I was sitting down really like feeling the truth of like, what is the wisdom behind this guilt I'm feeling? It's still there. It's not as strong, but it's still there. And there's shame in it too. There's so much shame. And as I sank down deeper to ask myself, and I'm ready to listen to this wisdom. What is the wisdom? I realized that I've been so caught up in the story and so like in trying to figure out the guilt and in trying to let it go, and then in trying to see how it's affecting other people, that I have completely forgotten to receive the love that was given to me through the response from the readings that everybody has shared. Like, it couldn't be more clear. Like, it couldn't be more clear. The way that my shadow is manifesting itself in terms of how protective I am towards receiving love, and the things that are created from that fear. And now that I'm here, I'm understanding guilt in a different way, because I have taken the last 4 years to study different modalities and systems on how to integrate emotions. And there's a system that I learned called emotional integration, created by a teacher. His name is Mahavajra, from a tradition that is not like, it's a tradition of 4 different types of religions mixed together into one that offer practices for meditation for you to be able to grow, for personal growth and spiritual evolution. And I learned and I practiced Mahajriya emotional integration for 2 years. And one of the teachings of emotional integration in terms of the emotion of guilt is that guilt is not about whether you're wrong or you're right. In the way that Maha teaches it, it is spoken, guilt is spoken from a place of like, guilt is really about whether you're loved or not. And there's examples of that, right? When we have to make a choice and we know what the right choice is, and we make the right choice, but we still feel guilty because that choice, even though it was the right one, affects other people. And the way that affects other people, maybe negatively, like even setting a boundary, right? When you're a people pleaser and you're starting to set boundaries for yourself, the first thing that happens when you set a boundary is guilt. And the boundary, and speaking the boundary, is a good thing. It was the right thing to do. Then you still feel guilty, because the guilt is, now you're not going to receive the love that you would have received if you would have just kept your boundaries weak. Right? You're not going to receive the, oh my God, thank you, or that validation, right? So in that way, like, it makes total sense, this lesson of guilt that I'm living right now, because the guilt is showing me that one of the driving forces in my work unconsciously in the past was that I wanted love. And it felt so good to receive love from others through this work, to the point that I would overgive. Like I'd be like insane 4-hour sessions. Like, what? Who does that? Me, I did that because there was this place inside of me that wanted to give in order to get love. And when I realized that pattern, I'm like, I can't be working with people when I have this like alive. That's not healthy for anybody. And so in that, I'm in that awareness. I'm aware now that I've done a lot of work around it, because I'm so mindful of time now that I'm like 30 minutes. And then it's an active choice of like 5 more minutes. And it's an active, more conscious choice of like, okay, I got 2 more minutes. Like, it's actually really annoying how aware of time I am. That's a whole different subject, being aware of time. But now that I'm here, and I've done all this personal work, all this shadow work around the force that drives my spiritual work, and how one of those drives was very egotistical of getting love, and being here now with this guilt and seeing how it actually stops love too. Like, the guilt that I'm feeling in my heart right now is real. It's there. It's not as like debilitating as it was before, but I'm starting to understand that this guilt in my heart, and the way that guilt is moving through my experience, is a way of protection. Because I don't know how to receive love. I don't. I want it. I want love, right? But I don't know how to receive it. And it's funny because last week, if you're new, you don't know who I am, there's a page called Magic in the Cosmos on Facebook that I have, and it's co-created with my friend Misty. And last week, there was a post about conflict and finding common ground, and the lesson with the conflict was like what parts of you and your shadow are actually. He's got a wrapper. Wrappers are like the hit toy, okay? They make noise and they're colorful. So right now his wrapper is his favorite toy. The conflict in the reading last week around what do you want and what's getting in the way of getting what you want, and those two parts of you that are in conflict, who are like, oh, I want more love, I want more love, I want more love. And then there's a part of you that's like, no, don't give me love, because then I'm gonna feel unworthy, and then I'm gonna feel like I'm not enough, or like the fear of I'm gonna lose it, or like the fear of like I gotta be vulnerable, like I gotta open up to receive love, like I don't know, like no, never mind. Those two things exist at the same time inside one. Me, as the example with the story that I'm living right now. And I have no resolution. Like, I don't know what the resolution to this shit is, okay? I don't. I just know that talking about it is helping me feel less shame about what I'm living. And it's helpful. It's helpful to just connect with other people through the story that you're living. And so I'm seeing now how my shadow and the emotions that we feel from our shadow are actually protection. And not all of them need to be dove. Like, I'm a diver. I mean, it's just who I am. I'm learning not to dive. But diving into the emotion to resolve it, which is what I've been doing for my whole freaking life, is like diving into the depths of the underworld. But then I don't know how to get out once I'm in there. And so I'm starting to see, like, you don't need to dive, dude. That emotion is like a bulletproof vest in your mind's eye. Like, I'm going to protect myself. So the attachment to the emotion comes from a place of fear, even though that emotion isn't really good for you. And then the emotion is what's stopping the love from flowing. And so feeling the reality that my shadow is teaching me that there's a habit of going into an emotion that is negative in order for us to not truly allow love to flow in, because love feels unsafe, is fucking like mind-boggling for me right now. Like, oh my God. You mean that there's nothing fucking wrong with me, that I keep feeling like anxious sometimes, fear or guilt for not doing the work, for not putting my business out there? Like, all of these emotions are just habits that I have to, like, blankets that I put on myself in order not to take the step forward, or not to like embrace my shadow. Like, oh, it's okay. Like, I get it. All you know, shadow, is to bring the guilt up, because that is what we've learned to do. Because in the past, receiving love was actually hurtful. And it was hurtful because the love that we received came from a place of needing validation from the external. And then that validation actually hurting because there are parts of us that believe we're unworthy. So all this love that we have in our bodies hurts sometimes, because it just shines light on those places that feel unworthy of it. And so it's like, ugh. Like, no wonder this path is hard. No wonder there's so many of us out here trying to put our offerings into the world and trying to create our dreams out here and not being able to. Like, oh my gosh. That's a lot. And that's not counting what's happening in the world politically, like, and in genocide and war, and that's a lot for a human to carry. So giving ourselves some grace and some gratitude for just showing up, you know. I don't know if this story, like, I don't even know if this story is going to help anybody. And that was the intention with what I shared it with. Like, I hope that me talking about this helps someone out there. But truly, it's helping me. It's helping me, and that is enough. That's enough. That's enough. It's helping me. It's helping me just sink and relax into it being okay. There's still stuff to figure out. I don't have all the answers. Thank Goddess. There's a lost honeybee. There's a lost honeybee that is taking refuge in one of our. We have these. I don't know what they're called, but they're meant to be hung outside, and they're made out of coconut shells, and there's holes that we drilled in them. It doesn't make any sound. It just looks nice. And so this lost honeybee has been taking refuge inside one of those shells. And there are times when the honeybee comes out and like you can tell it's frantic trying to find its hive, but it can't. So you hear it outside sometimes. It's buzzing. It gets very angry of like not knowing where it's supposed to go. And then at the end, it just ends up going back into the place of sanctuary that we hung outside. That wasn't the intention. We just hung it because we liked it. But now that I'm seeing it right, it's flying around right now as I'm talking. Like, is that not a metaphor for for us out here trying to do the work? Like there's this feeling of being lost, like not knowing what to do, where to go, and then eventually you're so angry of like, what the fuck? I'm so lost. Somebody help me. And then nothing happens, and you're like, fine, I'll just go back to. I'll just go back right there. I'll just go here, and I'll just wait, and then maybe tomorrow I'll find a way. And we're just finding it step by step, right, with each other. So I hope that this share was helpful and useful in some way. We'll see how this guilt moves, and hopefully now that I've expressed my own realizations of this, there's more space in my mind and in my heart to receive, right? Because a lot of us don't take into consideration how big of a deal it is to receive. It's been like life-changing for me to realize how resistant I am to receiving anything. Love, we just talked about that. But receiving anything, like, I just don't trust it. It's like, why are you giving me this? Do you want something from me? Because I'm not going to give it to you. Like, that's the part of me that wakes up very, very, like, habitually. That's like a reaction. Like, no, I don't want that. I can do it on my own. Thanks. Like, weirdo, why are you trying to give me something? Like, it's just the truth of who I am right now in this moment, in this phase of my life. But I know it comes from a lot of wounding as a child, so I'm going to close this out at 30 minutes and say thank you for listening. I hope this was useful for you in some way, that you took something from it. Be gracious and easy on yourself. There's a lot happening. Our bodies are experiencing the world, and there's a lot happening in the world. So whatever you're living, however you're living it, good job. Good job. Good job being alive. Really. Feels good not to be so alone. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.